My journey with the unexplained began when I was 5. My name is Amber, and I'm a physical medium. She was crushed, her chest and her throat, and then the breathing stopped. And the dead come to me for help. He also slithers around and shows himself as different things, like shapeshifts. I communicate with dead people. He jumps out of the water and takes people back into the water. And he drowns them and kills them. Come along with me and step into my world. Welcome to Amber's Paraworld. I will be doing a walkthrough of this beautiful home. I'm standing outside now. I'm getting ready to go inside. And I do want to go ahead and say that when I was talking to the homeowner, when he reached out to me to come here and do a walkthrough, I did pick up on a man standing on the porch. He was dressed up in a suit and had like a towel over his arm, like a butler. And people were coming in. It was men and women, and they were couples, and they were kind of like had some arms locked, and they were dressed very nice in dresses and suits, and they were going inside, and then I saw them dancing. Okay, they were dancing, and there was a record player playing. This was probably the 30s or 40s when I was like time frame when I saw this. So there were a lot of dancing going on here. So to me, that tells me it was prominent owners, people that were prominent, that had a lot of friends that were prominent as well to host a dance. So I'm going to go in and see what else we can pick up on. All right, I'll be back. So I definitely feel the butler is still here working. Like he thinks he's still doing his job. He's an older gentleman, like 50s probably. He's a little heavy set and got some balding on top. But he's dressed up really nice. Let's see. Okay, so I do see a woman of color. She's very thin, and she is going in and out of the kitchen. And for some reason, they're still working. They think they're still working here. Did you hear that? That's the lady making noise. Did you hear that? That's the lady making noise. Okay. I think on this staircase, you're going to hear people walking, like the creaking, because there's a lot of people walking up and down it. Then up here is where the air gets very thick, hard to breathe. It's very squeaky. Like it makes my heart beat really fast in here. And I think possibly it's probably coming from the owner. But he had something going on with his chest where he couldn't breathe. As I walk up onto the second floor, the original homeowner is very active. He is making my chest hurt. He's making it difficult for me to breathe, making me want to cough, gag, kind of gasp for air, similar to emphysema or lung cancer. And I definitely think that the living in this area can also experience these symptoms that he is giving them. Did you hear that? Can you make some noise for me? This is an odd little room. I definitely think people are going to hear people coming down the steps and possibly even seeing shadows here, because I saw one just a minute ago. Do you want to talk? Like, I'm feeling a lot of chest pain, like heavy breathing, hard to breathe, lungs hurt. Like he can't catch his breath. I also think this place could cause people to have dreams about this place. Especially in that bedroom. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Is that not gorgeous though? So definitely the homeowner, the man who hosted the parties, is up here a lot. And you hear him walking up the steps. And that's who you're going to see the shadows of. Whew. Whew. Okay. Wow. A lot of head pain up here. Hello? Can you knock on something for me? Like if I do this? Can you do that? You know, ghosts listen about as good as kids do. Hit or miss. Oh my gosh, it's so hot up here. So this room, there's definitely a lot of people going in and out, different people, not necessarily just the ones that lived here. But it's almost like they're just stuck in time. Like it's like on replay. Let's go in here. But it's almost like they're just stuck in time. Like it's like on replay. Let's go in here. I'm hearing a lot of noises from outside too, but that's just traffic. All right. Hello? Hello? There's some dancing going on up here. What are you doing? It looked like I saw somebody standing up here. Yeah, the owner was definitely a prominent person because they got some very wealthy friends that they always had over. They have this old record, like from the 30s or 40s. Let's see. I think you hear him coughing too, because he had some chest problems. Maybe like that, you hear it up here. Hello? Is the owner here? I don't know what it said. Can you understand any of this? Do you show yourself as a shadow? Did you have parties in this room up here? I'm going to turn the text part on because I cannot hear this. Is the owner here with me? I want you to talk to me on here. Can you tell me what happened to your chest? Did you have trouble breathing? Was it from smoking? Can you tell me what you did in this room? Why is the butler and the maid still here? Do you like to walk up and down the stairs? I'm going to hide. Do you want to come out and talk to me? As of right now, I feel like all of it's kind of like the energy is just like into the house, like the energy of the people who lived here before, and they're still here walking around. What was that? To the homeowner, can you touch this for me? Let me just see. Maybe he'll touch it. He might not. Can you touch that for me? Can you make some noise?
Polite.
Polite. They're not used to anyone asking them to make noise, like to do something. It's just kind of like an experience, like somebody will hear them and then not say anything about it for the most part. All right, let's go down to the basement. So I feel like the owner, the one who built this place, I think he was abusive to his wife. Not like trying to kill her, but he definitely swung at her a lot. So cool. Okay, this is all.
Where's my body?
Okay. We're gonna come down in the basement. I don't even want to say out loud like what I'm seeing down here because it's terrible. Back here.
What's your name?
My name is Amber. What's yours? I could have just moved that to the side a little bit.
Cursed land.
Oh, that's hard to get past.
Mm-hmm.
You need help?
Help me.
So down here,
Go right.
I'm seeing women being sexually assaulted. Like drunk men bringing women down here and raping them. The maid is included in this. Why can't they just be normal? What's back here? Was there another room? Or not? Yeah.
Skulls.
Skulls, yeah. The men would get drunk. Not all of them, some of them. And drag these women down here. And do what they wanted with them. I'm seeing at least a couple of times this happened. It probably wasn't.
Black hair.
It probably wasn't every time they all got together, but it did happen a few times. And that energy's still down here. You could even hear, like, the women maybe even cry down here, or like maybe yell. I don't want to be down here any longer than I have to be. It's like there's bad
I was
energy
sick.
down there. Yeah, are you the homeowner? You got sick?
Failed. I was so sick.
I know you were sick.
Struggling.
Were you struggling to breathe? You catch your breath? So I see this woman just kind of coming in and out, and she's getting things
Bernice.
like food and cleaning, and she's just going in and out. I think it started off. She liked being here, but she didn't like it after she stayed here for a little while. They definitely mistreated her.
You were very
Oh, I
kind.
did go in here. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Is this the guy? Maybe it was him I
Soldier.
saw on the porch. I told you he had chubby, kind of bald. It looks just like him, standing on the porch with but he looked like a butler to me.
Corner.
Oh yeah? Come out and talk. What did you do here? What did you do let your friends do to these women? You see him sitting at a desk and he's coughing. And he's got his glasses on, but he's just coughing into a rag. His partying kind of stopped whenever he got really sick. like a week ago when you had asked me to come here, like I saw this man standing on the front porch, and he was kind of bald on top, had glasses. He looked like a butler to me, and he was letting people in to go dance. And to me, it was like 30s, 40s, the way they were dressed, and they were dancing, like, the men and women kind of locked arms, and definitely him walking up and down the steps. He was showing me that he's just like kind of up and down, up and down.
Mr. Moeller was a big man. I got pictures of him.
I saw something on the table, and I was like, oh my gosh, it might have.
He's very distinguished.
Yeah, I don't know if it was him that I saw, but to me, I thought like it looked like it was a butler, letting people in, but it could have very well been him.
Yeah, it was Mr.
He was bank and lumber.
Oh, he owned multiple businesses, multiple bits of property. He owned clear down to the river. This property was once owned by George Washington. We met with the great-grandson of Mr. Moeller, who built the house.
Oh, wow.
And they gave us hundreds of pictures.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
His first wife died about 6 months after they moved here.
Yeah.
After the house was finished.
Yeah. Mr. Moeller did die in the house.
She died.
And she died. The second wife died in the house.
So they all died here then?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was remodeling this room right here, I had gutted it. It was it's full of tools right now, but it's going to be the master bath. It was only about 4 feet wide, so we doubled it in size. So I tore out the walls. So I'm over across the room tearing out the rest of the old plumbing, and I had laid down a floor plate of the new wall where it's going to go, just a 2x4, 12 feet long. And it picked up and slammed down. There was nobody else in the house, just me. There's a music store across the street, and her husband, my niece, were going down there to get strings for his guitar while they were up here getting some of her stuff. She had already moved out. And the guy said, well, the bands that were up there's rooms up there that they can rehearse. He said, you guys were having a heck of a party up on the ballroom. There was all kinds of, and she didn't say anything else. There's nobody in the house.
Yeah.
There's no electric there.
There's no electric on the
Lights
third
were
floor.
on. They could see shadows of people.
Yeah.
Right before Thanksgiving.
Now, I wasn't here. I didn't see that, but she said that's what a third party told her, that the whole band saw that there was a party going on the third floor.
I saw somebody standing in that curvy window when I pulled in, and I'm like, do you see that? And I was totally expecting boxes to be stacked up, when I got up there, but there wasn't. I picked up on this woman, and she was a maid here, and she was a woman of color, and she liked her job at first, but then it started getting it got to her, like some of the stuff that was going on. But I think you would hear her in the kitchen, like she's making a little bit of noise, like you might hear her sound like a mop bucket slide. She's not trying to be noisy. She's trying to be quiet, but we even heard her just walking through here, sound like somebody just kind of kicked something.
There were servants here. Mr. Moeller, we found letters where a relative asked him to buy a young black girl, but to free her. And they had her mother, and they freed her. And so he went to the auction and bought her and sent it to the relatives. And there was documentation of that.
Oh, wow. At one time, he showed me him sitting in here, and he was sitting in a chair.
Library.
He was sitting in a chair, and he was just coughing and coughing.
It seems like he had lung cancer or something.
He had something with his lungs and breathing, because even when I got upstairs, it's like I couldn't breathe. He was making me feel like I needed it. And I think you would hear him cough too. You might hear him, something like that, and it might echo. And you're gonna, what was that?
I think he did die of lung cancer.
Then when we went in the basement, okay, and I told him, I'm like, when he was holding the camera, I'm like, I don't even want to say this out loud, what I felt down there, because not only was the maid involved in this, but there were, I was seeing the scenes of men who were here, friends of his, who were drunk, and they took women down there and assaulted them and raped them. And the maid was included in this. And I don't think it happened every time, but it was a couple times. And she hated being here after that. I got chills all down my body right now. And sweating at the same time. That is so weird. But they didn't want me down there, like in a way. They're just like, get out of here. But there was definitely some rape, sexual assault going on down there. I mean, I'm not going to say nobody's ever, like, they won't ever hurt anybody, because you just never know. Like, if it doesn't take much to push somebody down the steps, or, you know what I mean? Somebody trips or gets hurt. But like, I don't feel anything super negative, but I know he didn't want me down in the basement. He was like, don't go down. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to know anything that happened down there, so get out. You know, he was very well aware that he didn't want me down there. Like, did you hear that?
Yeah.
There's some voices going on right now.